One, Vanakkam, good evening, Assalamu alaikum, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. So, welcome to my weekly live stream. Today, I'm connected from my home, Dil house. Today, I'm going to talk about very timely related topic, particularly on this week. We had visiting Prime Minister from Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, and his delegate visited Sri Lanka, and they left successfully after 2 days visit yesterday. So, in order to kind of celebrate and commemorate that, I wanted to have a kind of a discussion on that. My motivation to do this video is mainly due to the fact that uh, based on the discussions I saw in the Facebook and on social media, uh, um, in also mainstream media like television and press, I found that the knowledge or the knowledge about Pakistan and about even not only knowledge but also the approach Sri Lankans normally uh, use in discussing issues related to Pakistan and collaboration with Pakistan are kind of little bit skewed and not really realistic. Or sometimes there's a kind of issue I am kind of noticing. So I want to contribute to that discussion by introducing in a different way, based on my, of course, my personal and professional experience, how and why we Sri Lankan society, or us, that means us, not Sri Lankan government, right? So people on the street, my fellow citizens, how we should interpret, how we should approach, and how we should look at Pakistan as a friendly nation in the neighborhood of South Asia, how we should, understand them and try to communicate them. There are many positives and negatives of Pakistan as a nation in South Asian neighborhood, but it's important that we have to understand their weaknesses, strengths, our relationship with them, as well as sensitivities. So let's look at this. I will talk today mainly in English because I won't. If I make any mistakes, more knowledgeable people about Pakistan can correct me. But at the same time, I also speak in Sinhala so that my community of my home constitution can also understand. Okay, let me just check. There are any people connected, and also I'm using Restream technology today so that I can stream this both in YouTube as well as in Facebook. So this is a live webcast. You are free to ask any question, and I can also on real time I can answer those questions. I hope you can hear me. Let me just check if I am audible. Yeah, I think it's good. All right. So basically, I want to, first, talk about this from yeah, from like my affiliations, my kind of experience and my approach, and even my background with the connection with Pakistan for the people who are maybe not familiar with that, and also I have long association and multiple associations. So let me just quickly go through them. Now, for example, my first interaction with Pakistan is I studied there. I went to Pakistan in 1999. That was my first international living there from 99 to 2001. I lived 2 years in Lahore, the cultural capital of Pakistan, for 2 years as a MBA student at Lahore Institute of Management Sciences, and I was there actually as the ADB funded my education, but I was kind of fully taken care of by the LUMS University people around me, including my classmates, the academics and everybody. So in the of course, I studied business administration, but we also had some interesting discussions about beyond my classroom as well as part of my studies. I think it's a subject, optional subject, not really option, but subject. I think taught by Professor Imran Ali on uh, history of business, history of business, and as a part of that, I studied history of contemporary Pakistan. Let me share with you this interesting book. Okay, Pakistan. Right. So, if you can see here, uh, I did this a nice, very, very, very interesting book called 50 Years of Nationhood by Said Javed Bukhari. So this was our textbook of studying about mainly about nationhood building of Pakistan from 1947. So this was like, I studied this, as a part of my curriculum. So that was really a good, very powerful and very good textbook. Maybe I can get a close up. Let me do it again. Share the screen. Not this one. Portraits. Let me share it again. All right. So as you can see, this is the book. In case if you get a chance to have a look at this, it's a very powerful book explaining very analytically and critically about history of Pakistan. Okay. So that was my formal education on Pakistan history and political side of that. And but in addition to that, I traveled to almost all the parts of Pakistan during my two year stay. I went to north of Pakistan, west, east, south. Most of the time, actually, by myself, by public transport. I've been to places like Peshawar. It's a very kind of hot, military hot area, and then north Swat Valley, and of course to eastern border, Wagah, Islamabad, Murray, also Kashmir, and of course several times I traveled to India from there. So I have a kind of fairly good experience about geography, normal people, uh, average, the normal life in Pakistan. I didn't just stay inside the campus, and I traveled to many places. I think I am going to explain later in another discussion my experience of traveling from Lahore, crossing the border at Wagah, coming to Golden Temple, Amritsar, then took a train from Amritsar to Delhi, from Delhi to South India in Madras by train, another train for 2 days or something, and then took a flight from Chennai to Colombo. So I have done some that kind of South Asian travel. So I have good understanding about both India and Pakistan at ground level. Uh, and also, in addition to my personal experience, being a part of LAMS community, I have developed a fairly extensive professional networking in Pakistan. Uh, not only intact. Um, and after after coming back to Sri Lanka, I worked 2 years in this place called Regional Center for Strategic Studies, where main work was working on strategic issues in South Asia. So, of course, naturally, South Asia, Pakistan being part of that, I was able to work with very high-profile researchers, diplomatic community members, and a lot of other important people from all parts, all countries in South Asia, including Pakistan and India, to work with them professionally in research in strategic issues. In addition to that, I was the founding Secretary General of Pakistan Society of Sri Lankan Alumni. That is still kind of functioning after COVID. They are going to restart that. I am still active member and kind of founder of that. This is with the collaboration with Pakistan High Commission in Colombo. And top of that, I have been Lahore University Management Sciences Sri Lankan contact person in different capacity, ambassador, alumni, now vice chancellor, alumni award winner. So I do a lot of work with them. Probably I will also start doing some courses to launch soon. So basically, I have 20 years of experience with Pakistan. Some can say that my experience is a little bit old. This is also very true, but I kept on updating them. I visited Lahore and Pakistan last year, January 2020. That was actually my last travel out of Sri Lanka. I was able to update myself about also the changes happening there. Now I was very happy to see Imran Khan and his team came to Sri Lanka, and they had a very successful, according to my assessment, visit here. Of course, Sri Lankan government has been very welcoming, and they have been also very happy to host them. I also say something about Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mahinda Rajapaksa is actually, regardless of my political disagreement with him, he is very much respected in Pakistan. During his time, he has been to Pakistan. I think also he has visited Lams in 2000, maybe uh, 10, 15 times. So he has very high regards. I would say among Sri Lankan head of states, maybe Chandrika Bandaranaike, and of course Chandrika had initial advantage because of her family, but uh, in terms of initial individual effort, maybe uh, Mahinda Rajapaksa is the like most respected head of state in Pakistan, uh, and but I think also Gotabaya Rajapaksa had some connections because he was trained in uh, Pakistan as a military officer. Of course, a lot of other military and ex-military people are trained in Pakistan. Right, but in terms of respect by uh, uh, civilians, I think it's mainly Mahinda Rajapaksa and Chandrika Bandaranaike. Also, want to say something what Imran Khan said. Arjuna Ranading probably is the most respected person in Pakistan of Sri Lanka because of of course, his cricketing history. And I know personally, I have the personal experience when I was living in Lahore. Whenever I say Sri Lanka, they always recall Arjuna, Aravind, maybe to some extent also Sana Jayasuriya, but I think Imran Khan very clearly and openly expressed that Arjuna is the most respected person because compared to Sri Lanka, Pakistan is regardless of their the status or their ranking, they all are cricket fans, and Arjuna has been like the their most respected person. So that's also in the sidelines, right? Now, when we look at our connection with Pakistan as a country, most of us we know that Pakistan has been friendly to us. They have been they have been supporting war, supporting economy, supporting cricket. But I have heard some complaints from Pakistan side. They have, I mean, some important people have told me in private that Sri Lankans use our services and expertise and support, but they never, show the gratitude for that. So that's something very negative. I think that we have to, kind of change that attitude because that is true because we normally don't maintain our, relationship very seriously. Uh, uh, Now, that is because, of course, when we, to some extent, I would say Sri Lankan leadership is little bit opportunistic when it comes to deal with international, partners. Now, now the point is the Sri Lankan society, the normal people, professionals, academics, their, knowledge and maybe even likes, preference toward Pakistan is to some extent also distorted, mainly because we actually learn about Pakistan mainly through Indian media, or Indian way of looking at Pakistan is very much dominant in Sri Lanka. And even personally, I had that same, kind of exposure earlier. But when I went to Pakistan and when I myself started learning about Pakistan, I actually learned that it's not really the real, the Pakistan. So my, one of the motivation for me to talk about this is also like that, because Pakistan is not like a bigger version of Sri Lanka or small version of India. It's a very different, very complex society. Of course, it has a lot of similarities with Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, and other countries, South Asia. But uh, I think Pakistan is a unique nation based on their foundation, their geography, their, maybe even Islam and a lot of other factors. So I'm going to talk about them uh, uh, very soon. Now, again, I want to brief here. So we have to consider Pakistan as a friend, neighbor, and supporter. But having said that, I think once Mahinda Rajapaksa explained this very well, he said India is our brother, but Pakistan is our friend. I think that's a very good way of expressing it, because with India we have a different relationship which cannot be even it's inevitable. So anyway, India is there, and we have to deal with them. Sometimes the relationships are very friendly, sometimes relationships are very cordial, but sometimes that can be also kind of bullying. So, but with Pakistan, it's optional. You can have friends or you can not have friends. So that's the relationship. And of course, from Pakistan side also, if you look at the history, they were also thinking to be west uh, western oriented. For example, they are West is Middle East and other countries in, Arabic countries, or go east. I think now during last 20 years, they are trying to be friendly and focus more on the east. But there were times where Pakistan was not interested in South Asia, but they were more interested in um, uh, Middle East and also West, like United States and even Central Asia. So they also had that, confusion or choice. So I'm talking about from both sides. It's an optional relationship. But now I think friendships are very strong, and we try to look at each other in a more active way. All right. Uh, I have some noted down some important things. Okay, so basically, as I told you, Pakistan is not uh, it's like a bigger version of Sri Lanka. So let me just very quickly show you some important points of Pakistan. Since I have the capacity to share the screen, I'll directly go to Wikipedia and show you some of these key things, because I myself, I have to get it from some sources. Okay, just to refer it. Okay. All right. So it has a long, the detail about Pakistan as a country, but I will maybe before going to that, I will also talk something in Sinhala. Or the mame other may live term පාකිස්තානයේ ප්‍රයිම් මිනිස්ටර් ඉම්රාන් කාන් ලංකාවට ආපු එක ගැන සහ ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි මොනවද පොඩක් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන කියන එක මගේ ඔබ්සර්වේෂන් මම බලුවා. කියන්නේ සෝෂල් මීඩියා, එතකොට ශ්‍රී ලංකන් අයගේ රියැක්ෂන් බලුවම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පාකිස්තානය ගැන අවබෝධයක් නැහැ එච්චර. අපි ඔෆ් කෝස් අපි දන්නවා පාකිස්තානයේ අපිට තියෙන සම්බන්ධකම් උඩ. නමුත් දැන් මගේ ගොඩාක් එක්ස්ටෙන්සිව් එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් තියෙනවා පාකිස්තාන ජීවත් වෙලා, ඔවුන් එක වෘත්තිමය වැඩ කරලා ඉගෙනගෙන ඊට පස්සේ දැනට මම පාකිස්තානයේ ඇසෝසියේෂන් එකේ ජර්මන් පාකිස්තාන එම්බසියත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා කරන වැඩ හරහා මට වෙන මේ ගැන අවබෝධයකුයි සම්බන්ධකම් සහ දැනුමක් තියෙනවා. අන්තිම පාකිස්තානේ ගොඩක් ට්‍රැවල් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ ගැන ඉතිහාසය ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙන සමහර මට්ටමකට. එතකොට ඒක උඩ මම කල්පනා කරා මගේ අදහස් ටිකක් ෂෙයා කරගන්නවා. මොකද දැන් ලංකාව ඇත්තටම දැන් අපි ලංකාව කියන අයිලන්ඩ් එකක්නේ. අයිලන්ඩ් එකක් සමහරලාට අනිත් රටවල් දිහා බලද්දී පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. ඒක බලන්නේ නිකන් අපිත් එක්ක කම්පෙයාර් කරලා. يعني අපි වගේ මේගොල්ලන් අපි වගේද අපිට ලොකු විදිහට පොඩිද අපිට දියුණු නැද්ද? ඔන්න ඔගේ කාරණා තමයි බලන්නේ. එහෙම බලපුවාම පාකිස්තාන වගේ රටක් පාකිස්තාන නෙමෙයි කොයි රටක්වත් තේරුම් ගැනීම හැකියාව අඩුයි. ඉතින් මම දන්නවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ලංකාවේ අය ගොඩක් පාකිස්තානයේ එහෙම එක්ස්පෝෂර් එකකුත් නැති හින්දා මම හිතුවා මගේ අදහස් ටිකක් කියන්න මේ අර තියෙන ඩිස්ටෝෂන්ස් වලට උත්තරයක් හැටියට සහ මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි දැන් ඉස්සරහට ගොඩක් පාකිස්තාන වගේ රටවල් එක කියන්නේ නෙයිබහුඩ් මේවත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න ඕන. අනිත් එක තමයි දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ලංකාව වගේ රටවල් හැම තිස්සෙම බලන් ඉන්නේ යුනයිටඩ් ස්ටේට්ස්, යුරෝප්, UK, ඕස්ට්‍රේලියා වගේ රටවල් දිහා. මොකද ඒවට අපි කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ උදව් ගන්න, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ එක පාර්ට්නර්ෂිප් හදාගන්න. මේකට අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියන්නේ north south relationships කියලා. නමුත් දැන් වෙනකොට ලෝකෙ පුරා තියෙනවා අලුත් රැල්ලක් south relationship build කරන. උදාහරණයකට South Asian neighborhood කියන එක. දැන් ඒක ඉන්දියාව වගේ රටවලුත් ඉස්සර එහෙම එක. දැන් අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කල්පනා කරලා දැන් ටූරිසම් කරොත් ගෙන්න ගන්න හදන්නේ ජර්මනියෙන් හරි, ජපානයෙන් හරි, ඇමරිකාවෙන් හරි. එහෙම නැත්නම් බඩු එක්ස්පෝර්ට් කරන්නේත් ඒ රටවල් වලට. නමුත් දැන් ඒක නිසා අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට දැන් අපි අහලා පාලින රටවල් ගැන එච්චර ඇටෙන්ෂන් දුන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලන් තරඟකාරයන් හැටියට දැක්කා. නමුත් දැන් අද තියෙන මේ මූවමන්ට් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් එක ගොඩක් දියුණු දුප්පත් රටවල් එහෙම නැත්නම් ඩෙවලොපින් රටවල් ඒ වගේම අනිත් අයත් එක්ක කොලැබොරේට් කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා අලුත් මොඩල්ස් අලුත් ක්‍රමවේදයන් හොයා ගනිමින් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඔය සවුත් දැන් ඒකනේ සවුත් සාක් වගේ එකක් ගත්තාම ගොඩක් අය ඒක ගැන තියෙන්නේ ගොඩක් නිකන් නෙගටිව් එකක්. ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් ඒක හොඳ ඉනිෂියේටිව් එකක්. නරකට කරෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් නරකට කරෙන්න වෙන ප්‍රශ්න හින්දා. ඉතින් දැන් අපිට වැඩිය පවර්ෆුල් දියුණු දෙවන්ත රටක් එක. දැන් ඇමරිකාව එක්ක ගමුකෝ. ඇමරිකාවත් එක්ක ලංකාව රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක හදාගන්නේ වෙන ප්ලැට්ෆෝම් එකකින්. එතකොට අපිට සම්බන්ධ තියෙන ළඟින් තියෙන අපි වගේ රටවල් එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට සමහර ඇග්‍රිගේට් දියුණුව අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම රටවල් එක්ක කොහොමද සම්බන්ධ හදාගන්නේ? ඒක වෙන කැපැසිටි එකක්. ඉතින් ඒකට මේ පොලිටිකල් ලීඩර්ස්ලා සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සු වෘත්තිකයෝ පොලිසි මේකර්ස්ලාගේ ස්කිල් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන. දැන් මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ දැන් ඒ වගේ දේවල් ගැන තමයි. දැන් උදාහරණයකට දැන් බැලුවා නම් දැන් මේ ඩෙලිගේට්ස්ලා ආපු ඉම්රාන් ખાන්ගේ කැබිනට් එක බැලුවා නම් ඔයාලට බලන්න පුළුවන් මම ඒක ෂෙයා කරාද මේ වෙන පෝස්ට් එකකට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් ඔක්කොම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට හොඳ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලවල US හරි යුරෝප් වල හොඳ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල PhD කරපු අය වෘත්තිමය සාර්ථකත්වයක් තියෙන පොලිටිකල් සයන්ටිස්ට්ලා even military generals ඒගොල්ලන් තමයි මේ කැබිනට් එකේ ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් අර සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපේ අර ගොඩක් මේ කවුද චම්පේ රණෝ කියන වගේ මෙරිටොක්‍රසි බේස් අපොයින්ට්මන්ට්ස් තියෙනවා. දැන් ඒකේ ලංකාවේ කවුන්ටර් පාර්ට් බැලුවොත් ටිකක් කනගාටුයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තත්ත්ව බලන්න. ඉතින් ඒක කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ. අපිට ඇත්තටම එහෙම එලීට් එකක් ලංකාවේ නෑ. එලීට් සාමාන්‍ය ලංකාවේ දේශපාලනේ හරි අඩුයි. අපිට තියෙන ගොඩක් මධ්‍යම පන්තිකෝ එහෙම කියලා. නමුත් පාකිස්තානය ගත්තොත් මට ඒකත් මේක එක්සැම්පල් එකක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් පාකිස්තානයේ ඉන්නවා ඊටාම කියන්නේ sophisticated කියන්නේ පරම්පරාවලින්ම sophisticated අක්කර දාස් ගණන් තියෙන යුරෝපයට හරි ඇමරිකාවට විශේෂයෙන්ම ඇමරිකාවට කියලා ඉගෙන ගත්ත ඊටාම highly trained වෙච්ච bureaucracy එකක් military officersලා සහ politiciansලා. දැන් ඒක ලංකාවේ නෑ. ඒක බලුවොත් දැන් අර මම අද පෙන්නපු commercial advisor කියන්නේ අබ්දුල් රසාක් දාවුද් කියන එකනත් කොලොම්බියා බිස්නස් ස්කූල් එකෙන් MBA එකක් තියෙන එක. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ කැබිනට් එකේ PhD තියෙන මොකක් හොඳ බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් තියෙන ඇකඩමිකලි ප්‍රොෆෙෂනලි සක්සස්ෆුල් වෙච්ච අය. දැන් අපේ එකේ බැලුවොත් අර හැමතිස්සම කියන අපි O level පාස් වෙච්ච අයත් නැහැ කියලා කමිෂන් එකට. ඉතින් ඒක රියැලිටි එකක්. ඉතින් ඒක හැබැයි දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කවුරුහරි කතා කරොත් පාකිස්තානයේ ලංකාව වැඩියෙන් දියුණු කරොත් per capita basis ගත්තොත් අපේ per capita income එක වැඩි, literacy එක වැඩි, ඊට පස්සේ living condition ගොඩක් දේවල් හොඳයි. හැබැයි දැන් ඒක තමයි මම කියන්න හදන්නේ මෙතන මේ දැන් පාකිස්තානය කියන්නේ disparity එක හරියට තියෙන රටක්. සමහර අය ඉස්කෝලේ යන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර poverty ගොඩක් වැඩි. එහෙම නැත්නම් regional disparity ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් ඒකම දැන් ලාහෝර් වගේ නගරයක තියෙන buildings, houses, development මම යුරෝපයේ සමහර තැන්වල දැකලා නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒ සමාජයේ වෙනස්ම ඒ කියන්නේ elite එකක් තියෙනවා තාම sophisticated ඒකම පාරේ ඉන්න දුප්පත් මිනිස්සුත් ඉන්නවා. දැන් ලංකාවේ වෙනස තමයි ලංකාවේ පල්ලෙහා මට්ටමේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තත්ත්වය ගොඩක් හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ දුප්පත් මිනිස්සු low middle class හැමෝටම ගෙවල් තියෙනවා, decent life එකක් තියෙනවා, එහෙම තියෙනවා. නමුත් අපිට අර elite එකේ තියෙන cream එකක් නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒක හුඟක් හොයන්න පුළුවන් සමාජෙත්. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ ඉන්දියාවත් තමයි ලංකාවට ටිකක් සමානයි. මොකද ඉන්දියාවේ සාර්ථකත්වය ගොඩක් තියෙන්නේ මධ්‍යම පන්ති කියන්නේ. නමුත් දැන් මධ්‍යම පන්ති පාකිස්තානයේ ඉමර්ජ් වෙන්නේ දැන් තමයි. දැන් පහුගිය අවුරුදු 10 15 ඇතුළත නැත්තම් පාකිස්තානයේ තිබි ඉතාම බලගතු, ඉතාම sophisticated, ඉතාම rich elite class එකකුයි ඉතාම දුප්පත්, ඉතාම අඩු privilege තියෙන බලය අඩු ගොඩක් මිනිස්සු ඉන්න රටක්. මම මේ නිකන් සරලව කියන්නේ ඒකේ තව diversity තියෙනවා පංජාබ් වලයි, සිංහ වලයි, north west ඒ වගේ කතන්දර ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. මම ඒක පොඩක් කතා කරන්න පස්සේ. ඉතින් මේක නිසා මම කියන්නේ මේ රටවල් දෙක කියන්නේ size එකෙනුයි එහෙම නැත්නම් බලලා අපිට ඒක එක්ස්ප්ලෝරේට් කරන්න බෑ. ඒ රටවල තියෙන කම්ප්ලෙක්සිටිස් වෙනස්. රයිට්. මම දැන් මේ පාකිස්තානය ගැන තියෙන සමහර අදහස් ටිකක් මම very quickly share කරන්නම්. ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරලා මම පොඩක් අපව නැවත සිංහලෙන් කියන්න බලන්නම්. All right. So basically, of course, Pakistan is an Islamic republic. That means it has its own, constitution and governance system based on Islamic idea. This is very different to Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka is not a religious republic. It's a social democratic republic. And even though we are trying to say it's a Buddhist country, but technically it's not like that. And it's a very big country, right, in terms of area, and it's said here fifth most populous country in the world, to more than 10 million people, whereas Sri Lanka has 21. So it's like in terms of population like 10 times. And it has also borders with many countries: Afghanistan, China, India, with the Middle East. So it's very it's very diversified in terms of geography. Also, it has a very old history. Now, since Pakistan is like a comparative new Islamic republic, not many people know about its history. Now, for example, it has a very rich history coming from Buddhist civilization, with a lot of connection to a lot of former, empires, even from Alexander the Great to Kushan Empire, Gupta Empire, all these Indian empires we normally learn as Indian history is actually also part of Pakistan is covered under that. So then we have Mughal Empire, which was based in Delhi, and then Agra and Lahore was like the maybe like a main history. I have been to these many places, so I have experienced and seen all these buildings, structures, and other historical sites. But for important thing is the Buddhist civilization. I think Imran Khan also mentioned about that, which is very true. I will also show some pictures later. That is where we have the connection. Now, unlike Sri Lanka, Pakistan got independence because it was fighting both against British as well as from Hindus. So if you ask some average Pakistani where you got the independence from, they will say, I got the independence from Hindus. So it was like a separatist movement in 740s, but it has a very strong argument and justification. Now for Sri Lankans, now even for me, like the Nehru's All India Congress was the liberating movement. However, there's a good story by Pakistan movement, for example, pioneered by Ali Jinnah, and why they want to separate. And those are a lot of big history, so we'll not go into details. But some other elements, it has a very old history from this main Hindu Valley civilization is based there. Then the Muslims, mainly from Arabic conquerors, started. Muhammad bin Qasim started, they conquered. Now these are things we actually didn't have that kind of experience, because for example we also had the European colonization, but it was a little bit different. They mainly came through the sea route. whereas in Pakistan has always been invaded from mainly from western part, but to some extent they had issues with the eastern frontiers. Then we had colonial period, Pakistan. Now, something I want to highlight here. Now, having former British colony, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh together, to some extent, it's a good thing because I'm not saying it's a good thing, but we actually have a lot of things in similar when you go to Pakistan, whether it is rule of law, legal system, education system, road system, all actually have a lot of similarity because all were built by British. So that is why it's easy for a person to go and uh, interact with them because there are a lot of things we share. And also this Lahore resolution is the official understanding of separation or having a Muslim state in South Asia. I have been to this place in Lahore where they have this resolution. It's really amazing to see how they discuss and then how they, started this and then finally had Pakistan as a country for Muslims in South Asia. This is called Pakistan Movement. There are movies about this, and then independence. Now, if you look at Pakistan's India independence, particularly creating of Pakistan was very bloody because there are a lot of people died in that separation in the border. There are also a lot of movies you can talk about it. I mean, you can look at this. And Pakistan and India had this hostility from the independence. Uh, Pakistan actually was aligned to United States at the beginning, where India was more Russia friendly. And as a result of that, you can see the changes in the development and alignment in terms of military education and all this stuff. And what Pakistan couldn't do, what India did was, implanting democracy in Pakistan, um, because Pakistan was mainly kind of controlled by military. That was the long history on that. And now, for example, when you say Islam, now the Islam we see in different timing in Pakistan is different because based on how the leaders push in religion in governing. So, for example, during Ziaul Haq's time, Islam was used to control the society and to make it more nationalistic and extremist. But for example, even during uh, General Pervez Musharraf, Pakistan was seen as a liberal, want to be seen as a and Western friendly country. Also, it is a very beautiful place which we don't really know much about its landscape. Pakistan has the access to the second highest mountain in the world. It's called K20, K2 after Everest. If you are a traveler in Pakistan, these northern places are extremely beautiful and sometimes even untouched by foreign tourists. Also, Pakistan is a federal country. It has power decentralization to different geographies because these geographies are very different. Sindh, Punjab, and northwest frontier, so they have very different government models and power structures. Now, foreign relation of Pakistan is very, very also very kind of confused. Unlike Sri Lanka, they were very much Western friendly from the beginning. Now, for example, the Pakistan was friendly towards U.S. During the Cold War, and as a result of sometimes they were beneficiary, but eventually after I think because to confront Soviet Union, uh, Americans used Pakistan as their front line to fight against Afghanistan and Soviet forces from the Central Asia, and so they got a lot of money to improve the country, for example, military. But later they had negative relationships, and then now it's not really like the Pakistan is as a country. Yeah. So these are the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit, Baltistan, South Kashmir, Islamabad capital. So these are the federal administrative district. It's a very big country with 12 million people. Kashmir conflict is, the hot topic in India-Pakistan relations. I'm not going into detail, but now something I want to highlight: Sri Lanka has been able to manage both countries' sensitivities without touching this straightforward or without taking a part of position. So I think that's a good move. I also believe that as Sri Lankans, we can work as friendly country to both Pakistan and India, even though they will themselves have their own problems. Uh, I think one of the and of course, human rights is a major issue in Pakistan due to traditional, practices, role of Islam and other things, and of course due to military rule. But in the same time, it also has very, powerful human rights activists, including Malaya, Asma Jahangir. So there's a very strong movement. Also, even during the military time, the people fought for such kind of freedoms. And of course, military is a very interesting topic in Pakistan. Normally we say all the countries have militaries, but in Pakistan, military as a country that shows, for example, dominance of military in Pakistan. So it's a unique thing, but of course, we have to deal with it as Sri Lanka. You know, Sri Lanka is a very peaceful, at least technically peace-loving, democratic, civil-oriented country where Pakistan has a strong orientation towards military. That is something actually we can really compare. That is why whenever there is a militarization kind of effort in Sri Lanka, I strongly oppose that because I have seen how that has gov- military control and military dominance, how they have kind of negatively affected Pakistan's social development. Economy of Pakistan is important thing, but I will not go into details. The point is, again, it's in terms of some indicators, aggregates. There are some issues, but Pakistan is now emerging as a new developing country with a lot of potential, and also it has its own industries. Now that is something I highlighted even today in the post. Sri Lanka doesn't have much manufacturing or industries. We are service oriented, but Pakistan has original industries and industrialist class. So that is why one thing where we can collaborate, because they have for example, a very powerful SME sector in addition to big industries. Tourism, of course, Sri Lanka, I think Imran Khan very nicely explained it. Sri Lanka is more sophisticated in tourism. We have more experience, but Pakistan is an opportunity for us to, for example, assist. Now, maybe this is something like what Sri Lankan did in Maldives. You could help with your expertise, or textile industry in Bangladesh, Sri Lankan help. The same way we can actually help to develop tourism in Pakistan, provided things work. Now, infrastructure, it's very interesting in Pakistan. Mainly, it's a nuclear country with nuclear power and energy. And of course, I think I first experienced autobahns or motorways first time in Pakistan. Even 20 years ago, I traveled from Lahore to Islamabad along motorways. That was a very good experience 20 years ago. And they have extensively fairly good public transportation system in terms of highways. Railways are not really Pakistan style, but they also have railway system. Airports are becoming now um, uh, like refurbished. Now, seaports is an important strategic asset for Pakistan. Now, I think Imran Khan also talk about Gwadar port, and it's like Hambantota port. So they also have um, uh, strategically important ports. For example, Afghanistan doesn't have a port, so they have Pakistan's port. collaborations across sea routes. Metros are, I think, it's a new development. I saw metro in Lahore this time only, but this was not 20 years ago. Yeah, so science and technology, I think Pakistan has actually high achievements, including uh, Nobel Prize winners, and of course they have developed nuclear. Sometimes they can be controversial, but they have expertise in science and technology. Even outside Pakistan, Pakistanis are doing very well. Education, again, it's not exactly free, but they have very high quality. Some universities like where I studied, but also there are some other universities in Pakistan which are like with global appeal. It's a diversified country in some languages. One thing which we don't know much, Pakistan used to be the host of largest number of refugees, more than millions. I remember I have seen those days Afghani mainly refugees living in Pakistan, sometimes in very poor conditions, but it's a in terms of generous society in that sense, very diversified in terms of ethnicities. Uh, these are the cities, religions. Islam, it's a dominant religion, but there are also other, religious groups, like particularly including Hindus and Christians. Their condition is not, but now I think under particularly under Imran Khan is trying to protect their rights. Okay, culture, diaspora is very powerful in Pakistan. Their history, music is really unique. Food, a lot of people like Pakistani food. It's a very, a country with a lot of diversity in almost all the uh, uh, domains. So that is something Sri Lankan should learn, because uh, we are a small country with not so. Of course, we have our diversity, but Pakistan is like a entire globe with a lot of diversities. So I would say actually I know very little about Pakistan, but I can of course have access to knowledge based on my networking. So that's basically about Pakistan. Now, uh, some important aspects which we should know. Now, Pakistan has a uh, mainly negative hostile relationship with India politically, right? So you can always hear about some stories about crossfire. Pakistanis are complaining Indians, Indians are complaining against Pakistan. So that is part of their identity. Now, but at the same time, if you talk to people, both in the cross border in Pakistan and India, they are very alike. So they are like angry brothers, but they are brothers, right? So they share the language, the culture, history. So therefore, whatever you see in the media or even in the movies or in television channels, it's not exactly the only way. Now, now I give you two examples. One, when you meet outside Pakistan, maybe Europe, the Pakistanis and Indians, to some extent Sri Lankans and Bangladeshis, they hang around together because they speak English, they look like same, and they know each other. So sometimes maybe internal dislike, but they group together to have South Asian identity and community. A lot of people watching this channel, this talk, I'm sure from Australia, UK, US, they will agree with me, and they are this love-hate relationship as South Asian, because the white guys will see all of us as either Indians, or when I walk in England in streets, the people will shout at me, Salapak, sorry, Badipaki or something like that. So that is something which they can collaborate, maybe also in the Middle East, working together. The second thing is, even if you go to, for example, streets in Pakistan, Lahore, or in Delhi, now sometimes many people think in Pakistan I'm Indian, so I can see the reaction of normal, innocent people on the street. They're actually very friendly towards Indian. After realizing that I'm Sri Lankan, they are friendly in a different way. But then I was seen as an Indian. In India also, there are, people, normal people are very curious because they don't know much about Pakistanis. They only see the, like NDTV coverage of Pakistanis, that terrorist supporters and everything. But People in India also normal people are very much curious and they consider them as like brothers and sisters. So now, when as Sri Lankans, that is why I asked you, don't go into mix into their problems. They will take care of that. Of course, we can intervene in a different capacity. Now, for example, I have been kind of advising Sri Lankans should use their soft power as an outsider for Pakistan-Indian conflict or Kashmiri conflict to support them, create dialogue among themselves and help them. Not like taking sides, supporting Pakistan or India and then be a part of the conflict. That's one thing. So we can use our soft power as a smaller guys, faster guys, more, let's say, beautiful country and friendly people. We can use that skill in helping them even when they fight. I have personally done it. When Indians and Pakistanis, I become the intermediary. And also in the national, international level, I have seen one example. For example, in a SARC conference, Chandrika Bandaranaike, when she was the president, she was able to reconcile, to have dialogue between Atal Bihari Vajpayee and I think General Musharraf or Nawaz Sharif. As the woman and smiling president, she was able to talk to them. So we as Sri Lankan, you should know that you being island, it's advantage. You are independent, being independent, friendly, nice people. So use that advantage to communicate and collaborate with both Pakistanis and Indians. That is why you need to have knowledge about both countries. Now again, and that's why I'm saying I normally consider myself a South Asian, and normally when people ask me, "Are you Indian?" Uh, like outside South Asia, I say yes and no. Mainly, for example, in Europe, I say yes because I'm a great Indian as a part of Hindu civilization, as a part of culture of great Indian culture, Buddhist culture, Hindu culture. So I'm part of that. But then I'm not a Indian because of technically I'm not a modern India citizen. I'm Sri Lankan citizen. So I have to explain that. But I know a lot of Sri Lankans, they don't like to be associated with uh, Indians due to different reasons. This is very normal. Like Canadians don't like to be seen as Americans. Swiss don't like to be associated with German. So this is normal. But you can use that, hybrid identity as a positive thing because we learn, we watch Indian movies, we say Buddhism coming from India, that is actually with the part of Pakistan also. Pakistanis are also Indian in different sense, but they are growing with the hostility inbuilt to India as a part of their citizenship. We don't have that problem, so therefore use this positive, independent identity to connect with them and even to support them. I'll talk about this in a different post later. Okay, the second thing is China. Now, I have seen some people say Imran Khan is a Chinese agent or something like that. But that's again a Sri Lankan way of looking at other outside people. Now, Pakistan as a country has a very unique, strong affiliation with India, China as a country because that is part of their uh, nationhood. Because when a country was formed with rivalry to India, bigger nation, they needed to have support base. China was their, logical support, and therefore, as a result of that, if you go to Pakistan, a lot of things are Chinese funded, Chinese with Chinese collaboration. Not only China, yeah, I'll talk about that first. So then you have orientation towards China, then East Central Asia. So it's very normal for a Pakistan Prime Minister goes to outside country, then talk about Chinese related development projects like Silk Route and the CPAC or some agreement. So, but it doesn't mean that they are they are like slaves of China. They actually Pakistanis are very smart in negotiating with Chinese because Pakistan has a lot of negotiation tools. They are bigger country. They have a lot of other infrastructure as well as the nuclear power. That now we can't do that. We are a small country. We don't have a strong bargaining power with powerful country like China. So we should stay independent and get benefit from them and have positive relations with China, but don't think okay, sorry, there's a connection problem. Maybe I'm because I have been here for a long time. Okay. So then Pakistan also has a very strong connection to Middle East, Saudi Arabia and other Middle Eastern countries. That one also I have seen, for example, like Sri Lankans like to go to Australia or Singapore. Pakistanis like to go to Dubai, for example. So that's also because of the cultural, religious reasons. And Pakistanis are also used to be very friendly with Americans, right? I mean, they don't admit now because of their problem they had with them. But if you look at American friendly, American compatible, the lot of Pakistanis, like including, for example, my classmates, they did their first degree in Cornell or Stanford. A lot of Pakistani academics do their PhDs from Stanford and all these high-profile American universities, whereas Sri Lankans normally typically go to UK because we are still British model. So that's something we also have to learn about Pakistan. And now if you look at Pakistanis, almost all the guys they speak very fluent English with American accent, not like Sri Lankan. The ministers or even bureaucrats we have problem because they teach in the schools in the local ones in Urdu, but also English is a commonly used language, and they're very fluent and very confident of speaking on that. Okay, so now my should I cover anything else? Of course, I can talk about hours on this, but basically, my request to Sri Lankans learn about countries, neighboring countries, friendly countries, and countries we get, more benefits from or have collaborations. Pakistan will be an important partner for Sri Lanka. It has been, but it is mainly on military level and government level. But my suggestion to people in the civil society, in the public domain, learn about them, not just rely on the media coverage, Sri Lankan media coverage, or what politicians say. Actually, Sri Lankan media is very poor in explaining Pakistan because they don't know much about them. So therefore, they do a lot of mistakes. So therefore, if you are interested in dealing with some affairs, I recommend you to learn that. And uh, and also, Pakistan is, I think, like Sri Lanka a lot because for them it's only few places, one of few places in South Asia where they feel comfortable, very welcoming, no threat, for example, or enemy or something. So they consider us, friendly guys, and also since we are a small country, they don't mind admiring us and appreciating us. Now, Imran Khan is a very good example. He openly admire, appreciate the country, natural beauty, our relationships, our cricketers. He was very honest, actually. That I can say it's not like a fake or diplomatic admiration, but it's honest ideas. So it is not only Imran Khan, but most of the people I met, educated people. For example, a lot of Pakistani scholars, they have told me, Chamin, I want to go to two places before my death. One is Mecca, second one is Sripada, because the Pakistani Muslims believe that footprint of what we believe as Buddha is Adam's footprint. So they also want to come and visit Sripada. And a lot of old people in Lahore, in Karachi, told me they are they have been listening to Radio Ceylon long ago when before these FM channels, because that's the only channel they could hear from tune from Lahore or Karachi when it was British time, I think, and they had Urdu also services. Plus something else like Pakistani thing actually. I think it was Dr. Iqbal is the kind of founder scholar of Pakistan as a concept. He has also some kind of soft, soft corners or soft reference to Buddha and I think it was Jaina Mahavira. I think one of his poems. He's a poet, but he was like a founder and inspirational figure for formation of Pakistan before Jinnah. He's a Dr. Iqbal, and he also lived in, actually, he died in Heidelberg in Germany. One of his, I think, poem, he says, India found two gems. One is Lord Buddha, one is Jaina Mahavir, the father of Jainism, or the prophet of Jainism. And he said they both were not able to get the benefit of them. Something like that. Islamic kind of, I can say, separate, inspire, but is the founding inspiration figure for Pakistan, and has a very high standing. Maybe we should also learn about some of his teaching. It's very relevant and very useful to Sri Lankans. All right. So, yeah. මම මේ කතා කරේ ඇත්තටම දිගටම පාකිස්තානයේ කොහොමද ලංකාවේ ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ලි නේෂන් එකක් වෙන්න තියෙන එකේ තියෙන බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එක, ඉතිහාසය, ඔවුන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපන ක්‍රමය, ඔවුන්ගේ තියෙන අපිත් එක්ක තියෙන අනිත් සම්බන්ධකම්, ක්‍රිකට්, එතකොට ඉස්ලාම්, එතකොට අතීතයේ තියෙන සමාන සිවිලයිසේෂන්, ඉන්දු සිවිලයිසේෂන්, බුද්දිස්ට් ට්‍රැඩිෂන්ස්, බුද්දිස්ට් පාකිස්තානයේ තියෙන බුද්දිස්ට් හෙරිටේජ්, මේවා ගොඩාක් අපිට සම්බන්ධකම් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි පාකිස්තානයේ ඒකම පාකිස්තාන ගොඩක් කම්ප්ලෙක්ස් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන රටක්. නමුත් ඔවුන්ගේ දැන් අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් ඉතාම වේගයෙන් දියුණු වෙන මධ්‍යම පන්තියක් ඉන්නවා. ඔවුන් ඉතාම ලොකු දියුණු කියන්නේ සෙනග ගොඩක් ඉන්න රටක්, යං ජෙනරේෂන් එකක් ඉන්න, ලෝකෙට ලොකු බලයක් තියෙනවා ඔවුන්ට, ඔවුන්ගේ මිලිටරි තියෙන හින්දා. ඒකින්ද මේ පාකිස්තානයේ ලංකාවයි කියන්නේ මේ එක සමාන රටවල් දෙයක් අතර සම්බන්ධයක් නෙමෙයි. ඔවුන් ලොකුයි, ඔවුන්ගේ බලය දෙන ඔවුන්ට ලෝක මේකක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒකම අපිට පොඩි රටක් හැටියට ෆාස්ට් වඩා පවර්ටි ලෙවල් අනම්මන අඩු රටක් හැටියට ඔවුන් එක නෙගොෂিয়েට් කරන්න වෙන ස්කිල්ස් උත් අපි ගාවත් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඒවා තේරුම් අරන් පාකිස්තානයේ රටක් හැටියට එහෙම නැත්නම් ජාතියක් හැටියට ඔවුන්ගේ දක්ෂකම් අඩලුඩුකම් අවබෝධ කරගෙන අපි ඔවුන් එක නෙගොෂিয়েට් කරනවා මිසක් නිකන් බොරුවට රවට්ටන්න කවුරු ආවා මේ වෙලාවට කතා කරලා එහෙම කරන එක නෙමෙයි. මම හිතන්නේ දැන් මම පොලිසි කෙනෙක් හැටියට වැඩ කරන්නේ. හැබැයි මම වැඩ කරනවා නම් මම දන්නවා කොහොමද පාකිස්තානයේ ඉන්දියාවයි වගේ රටවල් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරන්න ඔවුන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් බලන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් මම ගොඩක් පෞද්ගලික කාලේ ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙනවා. ඒකයි මම මේ අදහස් ටික කියන්නේ. සමහර මේක බලලා ඉහළ ඉන්න පොලිසි මේකර්ස්ලටත් යම් සිද්ධියක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. all right. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. මට මොකද ප්‍රශ්නයක් කියලා නැහැ. සමහර මේක කතාව දිග වැඩි හින්දා දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් මට අවසාන වශයෙන් මේ පෙන්වන්න ඕන දැන් මං ගාව තියෙනවා I have actually a Pakistan collection of materials, books. මම පාකිස්තානය ගැන නැවත ඉගෙන ගත්ත සහ ඉගෙන ගනිමින් ඉන්න රෙෆර් කරන ටික මම ඒවා මගේ ලයිබ්‍රරි සමහරව මම මෙතන ගෙනාවා පෙන්නන්න. මම ගාව collection එකක් තියෙනවා. කවුරු හරි කැමති නම් ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. මම ගාව ඒවා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ Pakistan the roots of dictatorship කියලා මේක political economy ගැන තියෙන මේ discussion එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ පාකිස්තානය ඇත්තටම හොඳ ඒ කියන්නේ පාකිස්තානය අර අපි ලංකාව වගේ හැමෝම පාකිස්තාන ඩිෆෙන්ඩ් කරන්න try කරන්නේ. උන් හරිම critical about උන්ගේ රට. ඉතින් ඒකෙන්ද හොඳ පොත් තියෙනවා මේ ඒ කියන්නේ critical ඉගෙන ගන්න. පාකිස්තානයේ අයපුම ලියපු. ඊට පස්සේ මේ ඇත්තටම මේ ඉන්දියාව IDSA කියන ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකෙන් හදපු cooperative security framework of South Asia කියලා. නැත්නම් මමත් මේ conference එකේ participant කෙනෙක් නිව් දිල්ලි වල මම 2012 විතර වගේ තිබ්බේ. ඒකෙත් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා කියන්නේ පාකිස්තාන ඇතුළුව South Asia වල කොහොමද අපි regional security framework හදන්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් එහෙම එකක් තිබ්බනම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ terrorism වගේ දේවල් වලට අපිට regional response එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි තාම මේවා discussion මට්ටමේ තියෙන්නේ. I was also participant of that those days. හරි. ඊට පස්සේ මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ පාකිස්තානයේ කොහොමද ෆෝම් කරන්න තිබිච්ච කියන්නේ ෆයිට් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ අර මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා වගේ ඉන්දියාවත් එක්ක එංගලන්තෙත් එක්ක තිබිච්ච negotiations ඒ ගැන තමයි මේ පොතේ තියෙන්නේ. මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ ඉන්දියන් පොතක් IDS එකකින් again India's neighborhood the enemies of South Asia කියන එක ගැන තියෙන පොතක්. ඒ කියන්නේ India neighborhood ගැන තියෙන එකක්. මේ සවුත් පාකිස්තාන් ඉන්දියා කියන රිලේෂන්ෂිප් ඇත්තටම ගොඩාක් කඩේට රිසර්ච් කරලා තියෙනවා. අපි ගොඩක් ඒවා දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් මේ ගොඩක් ලංකාවේ කියන්නේ පාකිස්තානෙන් එළියෙන් වුණත් මේවා ගැන ගොඩක් කතා කරනවා. මේ තියෙන ඒ වගේ තව මම මේක ඔතස්ලත් දන්නවා. සවුත් ඒෂියාවේ සමාජලාට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව අහුවෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන් සවුත් ඒෂියා කියන්නේ ඉන්දියාව පාකිස්තානේ. මම ඒක ගොඩක් ලාට නිවැරදි කරලා තියෙනවා. right මේ තියෙන පාකිස්තාන් ඉන්දියා පාකිස්තාන් ක්‍රොස් බෝඩර් මට කියන්න අමතකුණා මං හිතන්නේ දැන් පාකිස්තාන ඉන්දියාවේ අතර බෝඩර් එකේ ඇවිදගෙන යන්න බෑ පාකිස්තාන ඉන්දියන් අයට. දැන් වගා බෝඩර් එක කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ලාහෝර් පැත්තෙන් ඇවිල්ලා දිල්ලි වලට යන්න පුළුවන් අමිත්සාරා. දැන් මම ඉස්සර සවුත් ඒෂියන් කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් නැෂනල් කෙනෙක් හිටියට මට ඒක අවස්ථාව දුන්නා. ඉතින් මම ඒක නිසා අර පයින් ඇවිදලා තියෙනවා මේ ඉන්දියාවේ ඉඳන් පාකිස්තානට බෝඩර් එක. ඒක හරියම හොස් කියන්නේ මේ මිලිටරි නිකන් සීරියස් බෝඩර් එකක්. ඒක එතන උත්සව තියෙන ලෝක ගොඩක් ඒ ගැන කතා වෙනවා. හැබැයි පස්සේ කාලෙක ඒගොල්ලෝ මං හිතන්නේ අර බෝම්බයක්ද මොකද්ද කියලා පාකිස්තානේ අර මේ මං හිතන්නේ අර මුම්බයි වල ගහුවට පස්සේද කොහෙද ටාජ් වලට බෝම්බ ගහුවට පස්සේ ඒක තහනම් කරා. දැන් සවුත් ඒෂියන් කාටවත් යන්න බෑ. හැබැයි මම ඒ බෝඩර් ක්‍රොස් කරලා තියෙනවා පයින් ගිහිල්ලා මම ඒ පින්තූර එහෙම වීඩියෝ එහෙම මගා තියෙනවා. ඒක හරි ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං. ඒ කියන්නේ කොහොමද මේ රටවල් දෙකක් අතර බෝඩර් එකක් ගහලා වෙන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. උන් දෙකල්ල එකාට එක තරහයි. හැබැයි හරිම මේ ඒ දෙක මැද්දෙන් ගියාම තේරෙනවා මේ මිනිස්සු අතර ලොකු වෙනසකුත් නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලන් වෙනම ලොකු බෝඩර් ක්‍රොස් බෝඩර් මේ බිස්නස් තියෙනවා, ඩීලින්ග්ස් තියෙනවා, රිලේෂන්ෂිප්ස් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක හරිම ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං ඒ වගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් නම් යන්න බෑ. හැබැයි අර බස් එකක් තිබ්බා ඉස්සර මේ ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ෂිප් බස් කියලා දිල්ලි ටු ලාහෝර. ඒකෙත් මම ගිහිල්ලා දිනා. ඒක කෝච්චියක් තියෙනවා. ඒවා ගොඩක් මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් අයට හොඳ අද එක්සැම්පල්ස් එහෙම යන්න අවස්ථා තියෙනවා. රයිට් මේ තියෙන සවුත් ඒෂියන් ඩයලොග් එක මම වැඩ කරපු රීජනල් සෙන්ටර් එකෙන් ගහපු එකක් shaping the future of South Asia කියන එක. ඊට පස්සේ මේ යුනිවර්සිටි ඔෆ් කරාචි වලින් පාකිස්තාන් ජර්නල් ඔෆ් ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් රිලේෂන් එක නිකන් මැගසින් එකක් වගේ එකක්. මේවා ගොඩක් මම ගාව තියෙනවා. මේ ඔක්කොම මෙතන ගෙනල්ලා දැන් ඊට පස්සේ පෙන්නන්න ඕන මේවා පාකිස්තානින් ගත්ත මේ තියෙන සුවිනියර් පාකිස්තාන් සුවිනියර් කියලා ලස්සන ගොඩාක් මේ මම කිව්වා වගේ මේ හරිම ලස්සනයි පාකිස්තානයේ සමහර මේ පේනවද දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. රයිට් මේ තියෙන මේ අර සීන්ස් අර හඳු ඒවා අපිට මේ ඇත්තටම ලංකාවේ මේ වගේ ඇත්තේම නෑ වගේ. ඉතින් මම කියනවා මේ කවුරු හරි යනවා නම් පාකිස්තාන ටුවරිසම් වලට ඉතාලම පාකිස්තාන කියන්නේ hidden secret of Asia කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් මේ තියෙන ඉතිහාසය අනම්මනම් හින්දා මේ ටුවරිසම් ගොඩක් අය මේවා දැකලා නැහැ ගොඩක්. ඉතින් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් අයට ඇත්තටම දැන් මේ කවුද ඉම්රාන් ખાන් පර්සනලි ඉන්වයිට් කරා. ඒකින්ද මම හිතන්නේ මේ රටවලට කියලා බලන එක හොඳයි. පාකිස්තානයේ security challenges තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ terrorism bomb blast එහෙම තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ගොඩක් තැන්වල safe යන්න පුළුවන්. මම මේ සැරේ ගොඩක් ඇවිදින්නේ. නමුත් මම හිතා ඉන්නවා නැවත පතා කියලා පොඩි පොඩි තැන් වලට ඈත යන්න. මේක මම හිතන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් සයිට ගොඩක් වැදගත් වෙනවා. ගොඩක් අය දන්නේ නැහැ මේ තක්ෂිලා කියලා අපි කියන විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක්. ඒක තියෙන පාකිස්තානේ. මම මේකට දෙතුන් පාරක් ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. එතන මියුසියම් එකකුත් තියෙනවා. අර බුද්දිස් මන්ක්ස්ලාගේ යුනිවර්සිටි එකක්. ඒක ඉතාලම හරිම ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං. දැන් මේක ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් තක්ෂිලා කියලා. මේක වර්ල්ඩ් හෙරිටේජ් සිටි එකක්. මොකද වර්ල්ඩ් හෙරිටේජ් මොකද කියන්නේ? යුනෙස්කෝ සයිට් එකක්. එතනට ගියාම බලන්න පුළුවන් මේ මන්ක්ස්ලා පාඩම් කරපු හැටි, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හොස්ටල්, ඒ ඉතිහාසයේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ මෙතන බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ මාර ආසයි. මම ගිහිල්ලා සමහර දවස්වල නොකනොබී එතෙන්ට බලන් ඉන්නවා. ඒ දවස්වල මේක ලාහෝර වලින් එළිය තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි එතෙන්ට ගියාම තේරෙනවා මේ කොච්චර දියුණු සිවිලයිසේෂන් එකක්ද තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ. අපිට ඒකේ තියෙන සම්බන්ධය අපි එකකින් ඉන්ෆ්ලුවන්ස් වෙලා දෙන අපි දන්නේ නැතුණාට දැන් අපි මේ ගොඩක් ෆලෝ කරන මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් බුද්දිසම් එන්නේ ඒ පැතිවල තිබිච්ච දේවල් වල. ඊට අමතරව මම ගාව තියෙනවා මේ පාකිස්තානය ගැන ගයිඩ් බුක් එකක්. මේක ටිකක් පරණ හැබැයි ඒක ඉතාම යූස්ෆුල්. පාකිස්තානයේ ට්‍රැවල් කරන කෙනෙකුට ඉතාම හොඳයි. එතකොට මේ තියෙන්නේ බුද්ධාගම ගැන ගාන්ධාර සිවිලයිසේෂන් එක ගැන මම හිතන්නේ මං කෙනෙක් කියපු එකක්. ඒක මම නේපාල වලින් ගත්ත එක ඉතාම හොඳ පොතක්. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මං කෝ වගේ පාකිස්තානයේ ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් කැමැත්තෙන් try කරනවා මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවත් එක්ක relationship හදාගන්න. මේ පොතේ තියෙන්නේ පාකිස්තාන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා relationship story of friendship කියලා. මම හිතන්නේ මේක අර special event එකකට ගහපු එකක්. මට මේක දුන්නේ පාකිස්තාන embassy හිටපු defense attaché captain මම හිතන්නේ එයා දැන් ඊට වැඩි උඩ post වල ඉන්නේ රජිල් කාන්. ඉතාලම very friendly guy. ඒකේ තියෙන ලංකාව පාකිස්තානයේ ගොඩක් positive relationship හැදුනේ කොහොමද කියලා මේකත් මේ embassy ළඟදී issue කරපු එකක්. පාකිස්තාන embassy කොළඹ majestic පාකිස්තාන කියන එක. දැන් මේ අවසාන මගේ අන්තිම අදහස් ටික මට කියන්න ඕන මේ for the government of Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Now I have seen Sri Lankan government, particularly under Rajapaksa's, are trying to develop serious business trade relationships with Pakistan. In fact, in Sri Lanka, there are a lot of people who have experience in Pakistan. Now, most of them are actually, the military people. Like I particularly like to call by name General Srilal Veerasurya. He was the ambassador in Pakistan, and he was the coursemate or the classmate of General Musharraf. He was a very nice gentleman. I met him when he was the ambassador. So these guys have invested their lives in developing the relationships. And of course, then you have a lot of Sri Lankan business people like mass holding guys and Brandex guys who have friendships in Pakistan. But in addition to that, there are a few guys who studied in Pakistan and now back in Sri Lanka. Maybe I'm one of them who have a different perspective of Pakistan from non-Islamic point of view. So we are very happy to contribute to such kind of partnership building, the trade, business, education, and of course we anyway do that. So if we find these initiatives are honest and value adding to particularly the people of the country, both countries, not just commission based or ego boasting relationship, but committed relationships. මම කියන්නේ එක හේතුවක් තියෙනවා. මොකද Abdul Razak Daud, economical advisor to Sri Lankan Pakistan government and cabinet colleague of Imran Khan, mentioned that the under FTA, free trade agreement, there has been increase in trade volume, but it's not up to the full potential. So there's a big possibility of collaboration between two countries where Pakistan and Indian business community can work together to improve trade relationship, because trade is the key in other relationship, cultural, educational, people to people relationship. So I request and invite government of Sri Lanka, the authorities, to work seriously on that, not just to finish talk shows at the end of Imran's visit, but use it productively for the benefit of Sri Lankan people. Of course, it's not like a north to south relationship, it's south to south relationship. Both countries have their own problems, maybe COVID-19, inflation, terrorism, but that is why we need to collaborate south-south. So that need different skill sets, different orientation, and different way of looking at each other. It's not like a god and worshipper relationship. It's a friend among two friend relationship. It needs different dynamics. I'm very happy to share my experience in developing that. Of course, I believe that I have right network and expertise. So I invite Sri Lankan government, the policy makers to open the platform. We are very much happy to contribute. මම ලංකාවේ සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සුන්ට මගේ ජනතාවට කියන්නේ නිකන් අර ස්ටීරියෝටයිප් කරන්න නැතුව පරණ ෆිල්ම් වලින් දන්න දැනුම එහෙම නැත්නම් මීඩියා වලින් කියන ඒවාට අමතරව ඔයගොල්ලන් ගොඩාක් රිසෝසස් තියෙනවා, ගොඩාක් විදි තියෙනවා මේ රටවල් ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න, මිනිස්සු ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න, ඔවුන්ගේ කල්චර්ස් ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න. එතකොට දැන් හිතන්න නැතුව මුස්ලිම්ස්ලා නම් ටෙරරිස්ට්, එහෙම නැත්නම් පාකිස්තානීස්ලා නම් දුප්පත්, එහෙම ඒ වගේ අදහස් ගොඩාක් තියෙන. ඒක අපේ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඒක අයිලන්ඩ් මෙන්ටැලිටි එකේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. එහෙම නැතුව මේ ගැන සීරියස්ලි හදාරලා ඉගෙනගෙන අනිත් රටවල් එක්ක කොලැබොරේට් වෙන්න ready වෙන්න කියලා මම අවසාන වශයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. Right, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Even if you have questions later, I can answer at the end of this live streaming. Any questions or comments? It has been long talk, but I think it's very important because we just finished, witnessing the Imran Khan and his delegate visit Sri Lanka. I think it's a historical moment, so that is why I spend time. I'm looking forward to work in different capacities in the future for improving the collaboration. I invite other people, and I'm very happy to share my expertise, knowledge, and experience on that. So I will invite you to, if you have any question, you can ask me, you can communicate to me, uh, and have a debate. And even if you have disagreements or any different, uh, even if you're an Indian agent, I am still happy to, discuss with you. Thank you very much, and have a good evening and good happy weekend. Huda Hafiz, and all the best. Ciao.